Hello, welcome to Game Time Tech. I'm Melody Brue, and this is Robert Kramer. How you doing, Robert?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Good. Had a nice long weekend, and I'm sure, like many people, got some tennis in watching the U.S. Open. How about you?
I watched it almost every day, and I'm pretty excited about this year. There's a lot of great players still left, and it's pretty exciting this year for sure.
It is, and we have a special guest that is going to join us. We are going to welcome to our stage Tyler Sidell. How are you, Tyler?
I'm doing great. We're in qualifying. We're underway. It's been about 2.5 weeks so far, so almost at the end here, but everything's been going really great over here, so can't complain.
So, for our viewers, Tyler is the Technical Program Director, Sports and Entertainment Partnerships at IBM. So, Tyler, we met Tyler last year at the US Open. We got to do a tour, kind of see behind the scenes, everything that IBM is doing from an innovation standpoint. And it's a long relationship that you've had with the US Open and USTA. Tell us where you are now. We see the tennis racket behind you, and kind of give us a quick overview, and then we'll get into some questions.
Yeah, we do see the tennis racket. Doesn't necessarily look like I'm at the US Open, but I am here on the grounds. And I'm in the web room. We're right across the way from Arthur Ashe Stadium on the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. Our web team sits here, our team from IBM Consulting, and they've been here since setup, which is about qualifying week and a little bit before that, because they are the team that designs, delivers, and develops the app and the website for the US Open. And we've had a partnership that goes back over 30 years. Our IBM Consulting team pretty much created the first website and first app for them. And it was groundbreaking back in the day to get live scores on the website. Obviously, now we've taken it for granted because it's become more common. But when we launched that back in the day, it was new and it was innovative, and we continue to innovate each and every year.
Yeah, mobile app is fantastic. We were both on site last year, and we thought it was really useful, and it shows great innovation from IBM. But one of our questions is, around how IBM is using the U.S. Open to demonstrate its AI strategy, and through the outcomes the businesses can relate to. So I wanted to see, that answer, potentially like reducing reporting for financial services, or inventory control for supply chains or healthcare providers. How do you think the U.S. Open is demonstrating their strategy from an AI perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we say it's a partnership. It's not a sponsorship. We don't just slap our logo on the U.S. Open and call it a day. We're working side by side with the USTA. We're understanding how fan expectations are changing and how we can use our technology to meet those expectations. There's 14 million users who use the app and the website. And the USTA's main mission is to grow the game of tennis. It's also to engage with fans, but it's also to increase the productivity of their own team. And the USTA, this is their tentpole event. For 3 weeks, all the eyes are on them. So we really need to be able to engage fans and create new experiences and keep them on the platform longer. So we have a few new features this year, which we rolled out, which are AI-powered features. First one being key points built with IBM Watsonx. And we codenamed that TLDR, too long didn't read. The USTA editorial team, they're a small team, but they write they write long articles. And I might be a fan. I might be coming here to the US Open. I might be on the go. I just want to get caught up. So we can create concise, accurate bullets using large language models, including our IBM Granite, and being able to give fans how they want to consume content in different ways. Do they want short form? Do they want long form? Now they have both of those options. And we do it for sports, right? That might seem like fun and games. But any of this technology we could use towards businesses as well. For instance, if you're in financial industry or you're in healthcare, you might want to create training documents. You might want to generate that scale, or you might want to summarize training documents that already exist that might be 90 pages long. So using large language models, using generative AI, I think could really help those businesses as well.
That's great. Well, we also follow Watsonx data. It's a big deal, and it's key to IBM's innovation strategy. So how do you think the US Open demonstrates the platform's ability to ensure data governance for compliance, or scaling analytics for workloads, or integrating AI in existing legacy platforms?
Yeah. So Watsonx.data, just for those that are unaware, it's our enterprise AI and data platform. And Watsonx.data is where we curate, centralize all the data. We leave the data where it lies. And there's a lot of data that happens out there on the tennis court. We like to say, and obviously anything can be considered a data point, and we're always looking at new ways that we can capture new data points and what can be considered into that category. But every single point that's played out there generates 156 distinct data points. And that could be anything from serve speed, ball position, but we're also analyzing unstructured data as well. So millions of articles from trusted sources, blogs, feeding that all into our system. And we need a place to house this. So we house it within Watsonx.data, which is an open hybrid data lakehouse. And that really increases our accuracy of our AI by 40%. So that really helps to control, but also centralize 20 years of historical data that we have that's proprietary to the USTA, that we have access to surface up on the app, to surface up on the website, and to also analyze in real time. And we're able to use that data because of the partnership, but also it's the differentiator for why people might come to the app.
Yeah, you've talked about like the amount of data, and really, which is a live demonstration of kind of that data orchestration at enterprise scale. Where does the IBM consulting arm of this comes in? Because that's a big part of what you do. I know when I saw Monica at Wimbledon, she was like, on to next year. I mean, it's more than just you're on site because you're making sure the trains are running and everything, but there's a big consulting part of this engagement as well. Talk about a little bit about that and kind of what that means and what that means to your customers.
Yeah. Our IBM consulting team, we have expertise, and it's not just the 30 years for the US Open. We have expertise that we've worked on creating and developing the Masters app. It's Wimbledon as well. So these teams have worked within live events. There's a lot that does go on behind the scenes to operate a live event from a digital perspective, and they're the experts in this field. We have everything from data scientists to project managers to front-end developers, iOS developers, across the board. Mm-hmm. It really is, as I said, it is a partnership. And I don't just say that because our consulting team is already thinking about 2026. And I'm thinking about 2026. I like to, whenever I have some downtime, which is, it gets a little bit quieter this week because there's less play going on around the grounds. I like to just walk around and hear how fans are using the app and how they're navigating around the app, around the ground. Mm-hmm. This year, USTA has launched, it's called crowd availability. And they surface it up in the app, and it tells you how crowded, based on cameras, how crowded each court is. And that's part of their mission to help make it a better experience when you're here on site. So if you know that the court is not as crowded and you want to go see that player, you might be starting to head in that direction. So there's a lot of things that's starting to churn about how we could use AI in future years and help you plan your day and navigate against your day. And that's just one of the things I'm thinking about. But right after we jump off of this, I'm going to be sitting down with our partner from the USTA, Brian Ryerson, who's the head of digital strategy, and we're going to start talking. We have a nice little coffee and an informal conversation about what's working really well and what we might want to lean into next year.
And then when you bring customers there, or when customers are seeing what you're doing, how does that translate into a more like of a business case? Obviously, this is a huge business. But it's a sport, it's fun. So when you look at something that's like, let's say, not such a fun, exciting, fan-based environment, how does this translate into what IBM can do in a similar mode, but not for sports?
Yeah. So we bring clients on site and we do a tech talk with them. We share for about 10, 15 minutes. I lead some of them. Some of the IBM consulting team does. We have a whole rotation of docents. And we break down in simplest forms about what we do here and how we do it. What's the technologies behind it? What's the products behind it? And we'll do a tech talk. And it's really, the one that we're really sharing right now is how any business, especially the US Open, is a smart business. And we mean that's a smart business because we put into place 4 pillars, right? They are hybrid cloud, data management, AI agents, and IT operation automation. And I think simplifying it and going into each one individually really helps clicking with the clients about, all right, they might be using this for sports and fun, but that Watsonx Orchestrate, which is collaborating between AI assistants and agents to create a chatbot, it might be fun fan engagement experience for a sporting event, but I could use a similar chatbot that uses Watsonx Orchestrate for a customer service agent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to spark some of those conversations. We have I was actually in the suite last night delivering a tech talk to some clients, and we have a live likelihood to win that we pull up, and we usually have a tennis legend come in and they share their perspective about the match they're about to watch, and if they agree or disagree with the projection based on all the data. And then afterwards, I got approached by someone who said, this would be really cool. We could do kind of a similar concept. What's the likelihood to win in legal if I was to put in all these variables, all the data of someone's going to win this litigation case? Yeah. So that really, personally, that puts a smile on my face, because that's why we do what we do. We, as I keep saying, like, we're doing it for US Open, but we could apply any of this to any business, and hopefully that sparks some more further conversation down the pipeline.
Yeah, it's a great example of how you can take something that is very easy for most people to understand and put it into a more complex environment, but see how that translates really easily. One of the things, though, that people, we're constantly hearing people are talking about is just sort of the trust and governance, the compliance and responsible AI. So those are all truly essential in both sports and in enterprise tech. So how is IBM both advancing the explainability and governance at the US Open, and then how are you kind of, again, translating that into that same compliance, auditability, risk reduction for your enterprise customers?
Yeah. So luckily, the Watsonx platform has 3 components. Watsonx.data, that's where you curate, centralize the data all in one location. And that's where you get it ready, you clean it, get it ready for the AI models. The next step is Watsonx.ai. That's where you tune your model, train your model, pick the right model for the right use case. It might not be a one-size-fits-all. Certain models are great for certain tasks. Mm-hmm. Then there's Watsonx.governance, which is to monitor for hallucinations and drift. As we all are aware, AI models could make stuff up and hallucinate. But we have Watsonx.governance to help us catch some of those hallucinations. And it's always, to mitigate some of that risk too, we always have humans still in the loop. It's a process between the AI and the human. So for instance, these key points that were generated for every single article, it fed into the content management system for the USTA editorial team. It didn't auto-publish so that they could still review it, they could edit it, they could put their own spin on it before they send it out there. And it's really a collaboration between the two, right? And whereas the USTA editorial team felt so comfortable in it that on day 2, they wanted to automatically publish it because they felt that it was doing exactly what they wanted it to accomplish. But that's some of the ways that we do mitigate the risk. We work very closely with the USTA as well for features such as Match Chat to understand their tone and the editorial style about how they might respond to certain questions or queries. Mm-hmm. So that's helping us to make sure that it's not going totally fully off the rails. So we do try to control it a little bit, and then we pull back the levers once we still start feeling a little bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. We actually got a chance to have Tracy Austin come in the room and kind of give us her interpretation of what she thought of Watsonx and the match play. And we had a really good time with her. So that was great for last year. Who are some of the people you have in this year?
Austin is awesome.
She is.
Awesome. We've worked with her for many years now. We've worked with Jim Courier. We have been working with James Blake, Lindsay Davenport, Kim Kleisters, Sloan Stevens, Caroline Garcia, and there might be others that I might have missed, but we have a gamut to speak with our clients about our technology. And the thing is, we do a briefing, but they really love it. They're authentic about it. Jim could probably do a whole tech talk about Red Hat OpenShift over the years of what he's learned from just being in that room. So
that's awesome.
That's great. We're big fans of all those players, and we're excited for the finish line here. What do you think you've learned from this year's US Open, and what do you want to improve for the years to come? Not only I guess beyond the US Open, so including and beyond, what do you think you've learned, and what do you want to do?
I think fans are looking for more ways to dive deeper into the data and to visualize it. So we are looking at new ways or new metrics that we could service up there to the fans. I think from the match chat perspective, this was the first year that we launched Match Chat. We launched it at Wimbledon to great engagement. We saw 5 million interactions alone using that feature. And we got some of the data fed into us. We got some of the metrics, and we made some evolvements and some changes towards US Open. So we're constantly learning from our fans. We've also done focus groups around it. And what we're also learning is that between Wimbledon and US Open, the number one asked question is, why did the player retire? Right? So we do give an explanation that they retire, but we don't necessarily get that right data. We don't know if it's an illness or if something else is going on behind the scenes. But we heard that feedback, and we're providing responses that answer that question, even though we don't have that necessarily piece of data. Then we start to look, can we get that data? Can we start feeding that into the match chat? So I think it's learning from the users themselves, what kind of questions they're asking, and being able to provide the greatest experience that they can. What I would also like to see from match chat is, this was the first year, so we focused mostly on the matches and the players in those matches. However, I did mention we do have 20 years of historical data that goes back for the USTA. So I would love to tap into that so that you can start asking questions, who had more aces in their career, this player or that player? And widening the aperture of the types of questions that we're training it on and we're tuning it that fans can ask.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because it shows how you're attacking the complexities of what innovation can do and how it is used on the platform at the US Open, and how it relates to like healthcare and how it can get into the patient records and that unstructured data that you're talking about, and the structured data and how it could be used in finance and manufacturing. It's a really smart play. Mel, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that personalization and that really granular level of data seems to be more appealing to the younger generations. And we're seeing this across many different sports, that it's attracting new viewers, new fans, because they want that. They're used to getting so much information, everything's at their fingertips. They want to pull this out, they want to see this video, and it has to be instant. So are you seeing a new kind of fan base emerging with some younger viewers?
Definitely seeing a new fan base emerging. And I think we need to meet the fans where they are. And there's different personas of fans, right? There's the 2-3 week fan who just tunes into the US Open.
Yeah.
Then there's the Grand Slam fan who tunes into every single Grand Slam. Then there's the year-round tennis fan who watches every single tournament, whether it's a Grand Slam or not. So you need to be able to create experiences for all them. And that's really where AI could come into play, right? Because what we're using AI for is to increase productivity and create new pieces of content at scale.
Yeah.
As I mentioned with key points, there's now long form and short form. You might have a preference of what you want to see. And with Match Chat, we created an assistant, which is like a chatbot, and fans are becoming more and more accustomed to using natural language to be able to ask questions and get instantaneous responses. So it's really understanding how the fans are changing and how we can meet those expectations.
That's cool. Okay, before we wrap up, one really important question for you. Did you try the chicken nuggets with the caviar?
That is a good question. It is right outside of our suite, so I do smell it a lot when I go in, and I'm very tempted. But I have tried the chicken nuggets, and they're very comparable to chicken nuggets that I could get at a fast food restaurant. I don't probably should say that, but I'm not a caviar either. There is truffle, so caviar, that's out for me. I am a truffle eater, so maybe I'll try those in the last few days that I have here.
And how about a honeydew? Do you get your honeydews when you're done working?
When I'm done working, yes. When this is all said and done, I have a nice celebratory honeydews.
I love it.
But
There you go.
You see them all those cups stacked around the grounds.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, predictions, one for men and women, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah. The men is very challenging. It's very tough, of course, but I got to go with Alcaraz. He hasn't dropped a set yet. He's looking really good. He's always looked good. I think the shaved haircut, the shaved head, which supposedly his brother messed up on. Maybe some aerodynamics is helping them out, but I think they all look good. Between the big three, the new big three, as I want to call it, and one's on the way out, obviously. But Djokovic, never count him out. I know there's a lot of chatter about perhaps father time and injury, but I think this might be his time as well. So if I had to pick, I'm going to go between Alcaraz and Djokovic, but at this point, maybe Alcaraz takes the edge. As far as the women, I'd like to see Pegula do it. I want to root for the American. It'd be nice, obviously she made it to the finals last year. I think she's on the cusp of just breaking through and winning it. So we'll love to see that. Also would love to see Anisimova get some revenge today against Iga for what happened at Wimbledon. So hopefully she could get the game in, and we'd love to see how this all unfolds.
Well, thank you very much, Tyler. We really appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in to Game Time Tech. That's it for this episode. We'll keep up following technology and the impact that it has on sports and other industries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop us a comment if there's any topics you want to see. I'm Robert Kramer, Melanie Brue. We'll look forward to see you all next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.